This is homework for lesson 60. We're going to look at the trends over the last 10 hours. It's went from a rainy day to a sunny day here. We see the pressure increasing, 30.38, bringing it up, coming up. Nice sunny day. Our temperature, 20 degrees C, looking like right now. Our humidity, 55% humidity. Our overall totals for pressure, temperature, humidity. Back to pressure. We kind of stepped it up. We have a BME 688, which does the humidity, pressure, temperature, and it also measures certain gases. We have the switch. It's debounce with a debouncing IC. And a 9-volt battery powering it right now. So this is lesson 60. We'll go over the code here. Wired library. That includes the Adafruit sensor library. We're using a BME 680, the Adafruit GFX library, and our OLED 1306 library. We're also going to be using a timer on this. It's not an internal timer that uses the timers on the processor, but it uses mils. And that's going to give us our 10-minute sample. We're going to sample the pressure, temperature, and humidity every 10 minutes. We're setting the sea level pressure. We're going to use the algorithm already built into the BME 680 series. And we're setting up, we really don't need this. I think I got left there, so we're going to take that out. We don't need that. We're not interested in the analog inputs. We're going to set up an array for both the pressure, temperature, and humidity for our display. We have some defining some variables here: pressure, temperature, humidity, pressure valve, temperature valve, humidity valve, inches of mercury, degrees C, and humidity percentage. We're also going to be using an interrupt here. One of the variables that are part of that interrupt is new screen, and that's what we're going to call new screen when we switch screens to do the display. We have an interrupt service routine that's going to go off on pin 3, and we have ISR pin 3, and we're going to use a count, and that's how we're going to sequence through screens. We're going to set up with our timer time event, and it's going to happen every 600,000 milliseconds or 10 minutes. Our timer, we're setting up an instance of the timer, timer 1. Our display is set up. We're going off to quick connect, so that's wire 1. We don't have the reset connected. We're going to enable the BME 60 series BME here. It's going to be on wire 1 also, so we're giving it its wire 1 designation. We go into setup. We're going to set up the serial begin at 11:5200. We're going to delay to make sure that port's ready. This particular display is at 3D. We're going to set up the color, do a clear display, and we're going to have print wait. And what this waiting is going to be, it's going to wait until we get our first reading before it displays, our first 10-minute reading. Then we are going to check the BME, make sure it's connected. If it's not, it's going to give us this error, and it goes into a wait state, a while 1. The BME 680 series has built-in sampling. So this is the sampling for the temperature, humidity, and pressure. It also does its own filtering, so you get a pretty stable output from this. And we're going to set up our timer here. Timer 1 is going to be the function we're going to call, and that's going to update our temperature, humidity, pressure every 10 minutes. We're attaching an interrupt to pin 3. That's being done officially right there. We're going to look and take a reading of the BME. If it's able to read without an error, it'll go through this and we won't get this error. But that's to check and make sure that the data is actually readable. And then we're actually going to read it. We're going to take our pressure reading, temperature, and humidity, and it's going to go into those corresponding variables. And then here, what we're going to do, we're going to map those values onto our screen. Depth here is 1 to 45, 1 being the bottom, 45 being the top. We have to leave enough room on the top for we can display our actual pressures, temperatures, and humidity. So we're going to map each one of those with these three functions. And essentially all we're doing is mapping our pressures to the screen. This 0.1, what we're going to do here is, since this is being mapped and they're actually ratios, so to get rid of that decimal, because the map function will only handle integers, it'll just drop the decimal point, so we'll lose that 60 if we do it that way. So we just multiply it, or here divide it by 0.01, and that'll give us 29.6. It'll just give us 2960. And here 30.50 will give us 3050. And that'll map, and we'll see when we print it, actually we're going to multiply by 0.1, and that'll put the decimal back in the right place. Temperatures, same thing. We're going to map it. We're going to use 40 to 45 degrees C, and we're going to map it corresponding to the display. Same with the percentage and percentages here. And we're going to print monitor. We're going to print to the serial monitor. That's this function. These two functions, that's going to print our horizontal line and our vertical line on our display. We're going to make a call to timer 1. So if 10 minutes is up, it's going to update our pressure, temperature, and humidity. And this is where we're going to switch screens. We're going to hit the button. It's going to make new screen true, and it'll do the if. It'll select the correct screen, and we'll show down at the bottom here how it's going to cycle through screens, and then it's going to set it back false. And then we'll do the delay. We're delaying 100 milliseconds here. Then here are our functions, everything else. This is our loop up here. We just went through the loop, and we have some functions, a print monitor function, print our monitor data, the graph pressure, that's our graph. We're going to have a function for each pressure, humidity, and temperature. So this is our function to print the graph for the pressure. Here's our function to print the graph for the temperature. And here's our function to print the graph, let's see, humidity here at the bottom here, just below that. And the next function is a timer 1. This is where we're going to do our update, and it's going to reprint the horizontal and vertical lines on for the display. Current readings, that's one of our display frames. It's going to display the current readings. We have a function for that. And we have a set true. This is what the interrupt's going to set true. It's going to set new screen true. And that's essentially what it's going to do, is very short interrupt routine there in function. And this is how we're going to select the screen we're going to. Essentially, we've got 4 screens. We're going to have the current reading, humidity, temperature, pressure. The first time in, count will be 0. It's set the 0 up at the front, up at the beginning. It's going to see 0. It's going to do the first screen, the pressure screen. It's going to update the counter, and then it's going to check if it's 4, and it's going to break out, and it'll show us our graph for the pressure. And the next time around, the next time this function's called, because of this increment here, that'll be 1, and it'll go to 1. Then the next time around, after it prints the temperature, it'll be updated to 2, and it'll go down here to 2 and get humidity screen. Then it updates to 3, goes down here and does our current readings, and then it'll update the count to 4. And when it gets to 4, it'll automatically go back to 1. So the next time this function's called, it'll just continue going through 0 through 3 every time you call it in that sequence. And that's the code.